So for the next couple of years, I'm not really 100% too sure what's going to end up happening with a couple of different iPhones, but it's actually pretty crazy because for the vast majority of places out there, I'm going to be very curious to see what ends up happening with the iPhone XR. Now, what do I mean by this? When I look at a device like the iPhone XR, this is one of those iPhones that I generally don't know what's going to happen to it. Is it going to be getting iOS 18 or is it going to be stopping at iOS 17? Now, there are arguments that could be made on both sides. It's an older iPhone, so Apple may unsupport it, but also when you take a look at other old iPhones, like the iPhone 6s, for example, Apple has went through and supported those iPhones for many, many years after. But when you look at a phone like the iPhone 6s, that lasted so much longer beyond than just the previous iPhone, which was the iPhone 6. And when you look at the iPhone 10 and 10R, those iPhones are 1 year apart, but the iPhone 10R has the potential of lasting even longer. So when I think about those specific situations, I'm really not too sure of which way Apple's going to go through it. Now, one of the things that I've started thinking about recently is with their iPads. So when I take a look at the iPad Pros, there's several generations of iPad Pros that have had A12 chips, or even iPads in general that have a variation chip, meaning the Apple A12 or A12X or A12XE. One of these types of chipsets that these iPads have, meaning that these are based off the iPhone XR chipset, which was the Apple A12 Bionic. So when I say that, I'm not really 100% too sure what's going to end up happening with these particular devices. And genuinely, I'm very, very excited and happy about it in the future. But as of right now, I'm not really too sure what to make of it as of this point. But it just kind of really depends on what's going to end up happening. That's kind of the big thing to kind of keep in mind here. So when I think about that in terms of relation, when it comes down to that kind of stuff, I think it really just completely depends on this particular iPhone. And I'm really not too sure what's going to end up happening. Now, when I look at the iPhone XS and XS Max, I could kind of think that if there was any generation Apple could go through and make differences between their more expensive lineup and the cheaper one, it probably is not this one. It's going to start off, I think, with the iPhone 13, probably with the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro. But when I look at the iPhone XR, XS, and XS Max, there were also differences in the RAM and so many other things across the board. So when I think about that, like I said, I just don't really know what's going to end up happening with the future of this particular iPhone. I genuinely do think that it could end up getting iOS 18. I think there's a strong likelihood where this particular device could end up getting that type of update. But again, it's just going to kind of be up in the air. If I were to kind of think about it, I would probably say this particular device is probably going to end up getting iOS 18, which is probably 60% true. But when I think about the other 40%, I think there's a high likelihood it could also end up not getting this update, at least this software update, considering it's a really, really big update when it comes down to it. So when it comes down to that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.